What's up, guys? Got this buggy. It's a 2023 Can-Am Maverick X3 XRS Turbo RR with the smart shocks, and I've been doing a lot of work on it. Been putting on a bunch of stuff, which I will go over in this video. But I'm about to install the winch, Viper Elite winch. Here's all the stuff that came with it. And I've been doing a good bit of electrical wiring and stuff to the buggy, so I figured I would make a little video that might help you guys out. And forgive me, I'm just kind of getting over COVID, so I'm still a bit stopped up and still got a cough and everything. But this is the passenger side of the buggy. Seat would go right here. That's the driver's side seat. I had the seat out because behind the seat is where the stock battery and everything is. This right here, this is the cover panel, or it's not a cover panel. There are cover panels that cover this side of the center console there, and so that's where a lot of the wiring is ran. Just kind of depends on what all you're putting in. But before I get into the winch, I just kind of wanted to show you guys the fuse block here that I added. You don't have to have one of these, but they're really helpful, and it helps clean up a lot of the wiring. And I'm also about to swap out this stock battery to a different one with a little bit more capacity. But I just wanted to kind of get into some of this wiring. So if you guys want to add a fuse block, you can. It's real easy. These Can-Ams and a lot of other buggies too, they come with basically your distribution block here. So the bottom is going to be your 12-volt switch source. The middle is going to be your 12-volt constant source straight to the battery. And then above that is your ground. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll just run everything to that middle bus bar area, and depending on what you're running to that, it's okay. You know, say you just have, you know, one light bar, or you know, some some rock lights or something, that's fine. But if you're trying to, you know, fuse certain things, or if say you have 10 different accessories, it's going to really make it hard to attach everything to that accessory source. And you're not going to want to have that many wires just right there in that one little spot. So to add the fuse block is pretty straightforward. So essentially, and I'll just kind of show you what I did. So I just ran an 8-gauge power wire from the switch source. I put it in some wire loom just to kind of protect it. Ran it down in here, and that is going to go to the fuse block power. And then ground, you can do the ground straight to the ground up top. And then from there, as you can see, I already have a couple things on here. I'll take this off. But you can see, basically after that, you can put all your accessory grounds right on your ground. You can put whatever power accessory you have right on this side, and you can put up to a 30 amp fuse. And you know, so say this next one's only a 10 amp, you can do 10 amp, 30 amp, 20 amp, whatever it is, and it just kind of cleans up the wiring. It keeps everything nice and neat. If something blows, like say a fuse blows, it's right here, easy to get to. So that's pretty much the gist of that. Pretty straightforward. I just mounted it straight to the plastic with some double-sided tape and then some bolts. And then this right here, just a battery charger. Basically, this is just going to hook up with these leads here directly to your battery. And then I ran the plug in here, and if you guys look, this is the panel. So see the plug right there? So essentially this panel fits right onto that spot. So whenever everything's back installed, all I have to do is just flip this open and plug an extension cord straight into the side here, and it'll keep the battery charged. Because these buggies, they don't come with alternators, so keeping things topped off, if you have a stereo or something like that, it's kind of hard. All right, but anyway, the winch install. So I've got a Viper Elite wide spool 5000, and this is basically everything other than the big main blue and yellow wire harness and the solenoid, which I'll show you guys in a second. But I've already kind of started this install, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I did, because there wasn't any videos on YouTube about this buggy. There was some of like the Polarises and stuff like that, but it's real simple. So I just ran these blue and yellow wires. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but I just ran them straight through the the rubber grommet right there in the firewall. And they don't, if you have a max, like 4-seater, you're not gonna have nearly enough cable. Even on this 2-seater, I didn't have enough cable to run actually all the way to the battery. What I did was I was able to mount the solenoid or the contactor, whatever you want to call it, but I mounted it right here underneath the center console, right behind the power block. It's just some hard plastic that you can mount it to. And then basically I just ran the yellow to the yellow stud. Everything's color coded, so it's real simple. And then the blue is going right to there. It's kind of hard to see because I have the red heat shrink on it, but blue goes to there. And then so that takes care of your blue and your yellow harness. A lot of people with like other buggies, they were mounting these things, you know, up here, random spots, and you would have to actually extend the cables, and that just seemed crazy. And it wasn't as clean as in here underneath the center console. So this is about as far as I've got so far. Just the blue and the yellow wires are hooked up. I started hooking up these red and the black that came with the kit. These are gonna be way too long because all these have to go to is just the red straight to the constant red on the bus bar, and then the black just goes to the ground on the bus bar. So they only need to be, you know, 5 or 6 inches long. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these to length. I'm going to put some more connectors on the end, heat shrink it, and then I'm gonna hook those up to the positive and the negative. And then the only thing left really is gonna be these two connectors, which is gonna be right here on this harness. So you see those right there, they just kind of plug in. And then you're gonna have one power cable, probably this red one here, that's gonna connect straight to the fuse block that I also added. And then lastly, there's gonna be the actual dash switch that I'm gonna put in. And I'm gonna put this in right here beside the override switch. And this is actually the one that's gonna be your 12-volt switch source. And this is just gonna go straight to the fuse block here. On the positive side, I'll fuse it, and then the negative is gonna go right over here. All right, so just got those two wires. So it looks a little weird, but as far as just keeping everything under the dash and cleaned up and kind of like away from the battery area, I think this is the best way to do it. So I've got the ground going to the ground, got the power going straight to the power, and the yellow and the blue that goes to the front of the winch, those are also plugged in. So that's all finished, and now just got to do the switch and that last little harness. So technically we've got two things left. So the dash switch here, and then this is actually the harness for the wireless module that the thing comes with. You don't actually have to install this. So if you don't care about the wireless module or the wireless you know, controller, don't worry about it. All you gotta do is just install these two here. All right guys, so got the last two wires in. Here's the switch there, and I'll go around on the other side so you guys can see a little bit better. There's some wires that are zip tied. As you guys can see, it's all ran. The green and the black wires right there are connected for the solenoid. Everything is connected into the fuse block. And then down here is where I ran everything. So there you can see the blue and the yellow main wires for the winch. And right there on the gas tank is where I double-sided taped the wireless transmitter. And then kind of just zip tied the excess wires up there. There's the back of the switch. And everything's kind of tucked in and it works. I'm still waiting on my my front bulkhead for my winch, so I can't install the actual winch yet, but as soon as I get that front piece, all I gotta do is just bolt it on and then hook up these two wires, zip tie a couple of these things up here, and then she will be done. Post a comment down below if this was helpful, and I'm gonna do a lot more videos in the future hopefully. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it helped.